talk about playing by ear and hearing things, we're talking about hearing chords. We're talking about hearing notes that are being played together at the same time. Rarely do we discuss hearing melodic lines or hearing runs, right? And that the reason for that is because if we were to just use a straight ear approach, only to try to figure out runs, it could be a little bit more difficult than chords simply because you got to do one note at a time. And this is the reason why using your ear alone is not sufficient. See, because we have to, in order to figure out what he is doing, and if you're wanting to know what he is doing, I'm not using a combination. I'm not using ear only. I am using a combination. Ear is part of it. Ear is a part of it, definitely. But I have to know theory. I have to understand the context. Okay, and that is informing my choice. And in fact, for this song, I probably used more understanding of theory, my own understanding. This is my understanding, the way that I look at music. My understanding of theory is what helps me to figure out what chords are being played. My ear is only used to confirm that the chord that I'm playing is the correct chord. And so I want to invite you. My membership site is open, and we go into deeper things there. And so check the link if you are interested, because this is not for everybody. If you already can hear what he is doing, and if you already understand the theory behind what he's doing, this is not for you. I would prefer, if you need help in figuring out what is going on behind what he's doing, why he's playing the chords he's playing, why it works, how I'm able to figure this out, then check the link in the description, and we will have something for you there. So go ahead and click that. Now let's go ahead and go through this tutorial and show you my thoughts behind some of what's going on here. All right, let's start from the top. Okay, so on that transition there. Okay, so let me show you how I'm looking at this. I'm using both my ear and theory. So theory-wise, how do I figure this out? So he's going. Now, he's not playing a bass note here, but if there were a bass note, what would it be? Right there on that third chord. Okay, so he gives you a hint in the second bass note that he plays. Right there, you see that D? So what would lead to the D? Well, the note of the fifth above that would lead to the D, working as a secondary dominant. So then that tells me then that the chord that is being referenced by his movement would be this, which is A minor 9 or A11. So in actuality, so to chord this out first and understand the structure of what's going on is what's important, because that's what allows you to improvise, because he voices and he moves, he uses passing chords to get to this, but I need to understand that this is what is being called for, right? So so now that I know that that's the basic chord structure, that's going to help me figure out Right there. Okay, so that part there, or, but I know that it has to be that, right? So I'm getting to that. So, so what I was thinking is, which would lead to the A minor 9 there. Okay, but now this is where my ear takes over, because if you hear those chords though, there's a little bit more dissonance than what I'm playing. So here's what I'm playing, and then listen to what he's doing. See, so you hear a little bit more dissonance. And so this is when my theory shuts down and my ear takes over. Okay. So now my ear tells me that there is a minor second that's happening somewhere near the bottom. So I would guess that would be that. Okay. So I have this, and then I'm going to put a major second there, and I'm going to put a minor second there. So it'll sound like this. Right? Or I could have two minor seconds and one major. Actually, no, those are all minor seconds. And when I'm talking about minor seconds, I'm talking about right here, which is giving the dissonance within this chord. Now again, we don't want to get locked into only how he did it, because you can choose to put the minor second where you wanted to put it. You could put it in the middle if you wanted to. Right? Right? Because it's still leading to the A minor 9. It's the theory that helps me to know that, but it's the ear that gives me the more of the details. Okay? Let's keep on going. All right, let's do that one. Okay, same thing before. What's my theory going to tell me? Well, my theory tells me that my theory tells me that he's really playing an F minor chord there, but he's giving it a lot of color by adding the 6, the minor 6 there. Now, what I do, I don't really, when I'm playing in the transcription, I know it looks very accurate, but using theory allows me to really take a lot of shortcuts. So sometimes the notes aren't exactly correct, only because for me it's the theory that counts, that I know the quality of the chord. And so if you look at the notes, they're still pretty close. With that theory, I'm getting that F minor sound there, and then I'm going to this sound here, which is E minor 9, but again he has a 6th in there. So it sounds like a E6, E minor 6. So basically, but on that E minor, because it's a 9, because he's playing that 9 there, in actuality, even though it's an E minor, I like looking at it from its relative major. So that would be it's a G chord. So that would be a G. And even further, if you notice, it sounds a little bit bright. It sounds bright, the chords that he's playing. So I'm gonna go with the G Lydian, instead of going with an E minor, which to me would have a darker sound. So the G Lydian would be. So that informs my choices of what he's playing when he's walking those chords down right here. See those chords, my ear alone, it would take me a while. But my theory, because I understand that he's playing the relative major of E, which is G, and I understand that it's Lydian, so then I can get. See that? And because in the G Lydian, the only notes that are sharp is the C sharp and the F sharp. So to be honest with you, it's as easy as just kind of hitting notes and just making sure that these are sharp coming down. Makes it way easier. Right? And so, so it's and then of course, moving to the ear approach, I just figure out what notes on top that he's doing, and then just kind of play variations of those chords. So it could be this. It's probably E sus2, sounds like. Right? Or and it really doesn't matter, at that point, because once I get into the editing mode, I'll kind of fix out whatever notes aren't correct. But if you're just trying to figure out what he played, again, using the combination of theory and knowing which notes are sharp and all the other keys are the white keys except these, then you can still do what he's doing and not sound exactly like him, because you understand the concept of what is going on. Yeah, let's do that one. Let's do that. All right, now the first thing I want to say is, do you notice that it's the exact same progression that we did earlier in the video? Right, for the G minor 7 flat 5, leading to the G minor 7 flat 5. And then he goes here, right? But but the chord that he's using, the run that he uses there, is when he hits the G minor 7 flat 5. Let's hear what that is again. All right, so I want to get that scale, and I'm not using my ear. I'm not using the ear to figure that out. I'm using the scale itself. So, okay, I had to go grab my score editor from Logic here. So what I want to do is I want to show you that. Let's drag this over. And let me see if I can somehow minimize this thing. No, I don't want it full screen. All right, that'll work. All right, let's see where we're at here. Okay, here it is. All right, so as you can see, as you can see in the score, right, the notes are here. So you can see F, G, A, B flat, C, and then D flat, E flat, E. So it looks like it's starting on that F, And music theorists a lot of times will tell you to start on the F, which to me it can be very confusing because basically, the note that you start on changes what type of scale or mode it is. I honestly don't like looking at it that way. So I know that we know that he's playing in the left hand. He's playing a G minor 7 flat 5. The score doesn't bear that out because in the left hand, as you can see, it's just an F and a B. Okay? And so we're only playing an F and a B flat in the left hand, so it's not really showing the quality of the chord. Now he's playing a rootless voicing. He doesn't need the G. The actual chord would be this. But he doesn't need to play the G if the bass person is playing the G. And he only needs to play really the upper extensions of that, which is why he has that. The other thing you need to realize is that we don't need to, I don't want to reference this from a F. I want to reference it from a G. I want to call the chord from a G. And the reason I want to call, I want to call the scale that he's using there, right? And then he goes up here. But the reason I want to call it from a G is because you have to see scales as extensions of chords themselves. Okay, I don't like getting so technical and intellectual with music that I don't understand anything. I have to use what I can use to figure things out quickly. And what I know is that he's playing in the left hand. He's playing a G minor 7 or G minor 7 flat 5. So the scale that I'm going to use is going to be a G scale. It's going to be a G something. I'm not going to call it an F just because he started on an F. I want it to be an extension of this chord. And the scale that I'm going to use is called a Locrian natural 2. A G Locrian natural 2. In a regular G scale, a G major scale, you have the Locrian scale takes the second note, takes the third note of the G scale, takes the fifth note, takes the sixth, takes the seventh, and it flattens all of those. So this goes down here. This goes flat. This goes flat. The E goes flat. The F sharp goes flat. Are you with me so far? If we call it a Locrian, so by the way, so the Locrian scale would be okay. If we flatten, or if we take this, the reason it's called a Locrian natural 2 is because the second note, which is supposed to be flat, is natural. Okay, so here's the scale. So you have it. Okay, so that's the Locrian played if I were to play it harmonically, played together. Which makes sense because this also works with my see that? I'm using what's called a modal approach because I'm just playing all the notes within the Locrian natural 2 chord. Now, Mike is playing it melodically, which means he's playing these in order. Okay. Now, when he gets up to the 6, he's making that a natural 6. And the reason for that is because the next chord is a C dominant chord. And now we're going to a C dominant. Okay, so in preparation to play that chord, he gets out of the Locrian and goes to the E, So that's why it sounds that way. And then he goes to the F sharp, making it essentially, you know, if I'm using a modal approach, that would make it a mixolydian sharp 11. Okay, so you heard him go up to the F sharp? Right? So that's why I called it a mixolydian sharp 11 there. Point being, my point is that I'm not using my ear to figure that out. This is the theory that I used to come up with the notes that he was playing. Okay, and I only used my ear when necessary, but in this particular section, that was the theory that I used. I'm gonna go search for some more stuff here. Okay, so now here's a problem we have. He changed. Now let me just say something that may you know annoy some people here. If any time you go in a key you don't like, you're transposing, you're never going to be able to play these chords the way Mike is playing them. He's in E now, right? And E, a lot of people feel like it's a difficult key, but you notice how he's not even breaking a sweat as he's going up in half steps, right? And let me just give you a little a personal opinion on this as well. For me, when I hear a C, when I hit a C, where's my keyboard here? If I transpose this, oh no, it will transpose. But see, I press transpose on the keyboard. Right now, I'm hitting a C, but it's playing a C sharp. That's confusing. That's confusing to my ears. How am I supposed to develop my ears when I'm playing one note and another note is sounding? Right? I it's like, to me, that's like somebody taking you know, those teachers used to put their nail in a chalkboard and then it would I don't know, some of y'all are too young for that. That's like that for me. You can't transpose a keyboard and then I'm hitting one note and I'm hearing another note. It's off. I'm supposed to be hearing a C. So it's literally, and this is just my opinion, it messes up my ear. It messes up my ear because I'm not using perfect pitch. I gotta remember that when I hit this note, that sound comes out. And if I'm constantly changing the transposing the keyboard, it's messing up my relative pitch. Okay, so this is just a little bit of a it's hard work trying to learn another key. But this is the reason they say, you know, go slow at it and play each chord that you can play. Try it, you know, take it up a half step and then do it that way until you get it. But I want to encourage everybody to make sure that you have your keys. Now let's look at in the key of E. He's going here. So right now he's in E. Okay, so you hear him in E now. So and then the bass guy, again, theory helps me know what's going on. Right? Theory helps me know what's going on. So I can hear a 5-1-4 in the bass. Right? I hear that in the bass. So you hear that? So because he's doing that progression in the bass, that's what helps me to figure out the chords in the right hand. It's not my ear alone. And see, really, the main thing the main point I'm trying to give you today is that, we want to get better. We want our ear to get better, yes. But you gotta know the theory, and not just going and just studying theory for theory, but the theory that makes sense to what you're doing, right? Because I know that I can. So I know that, right? I know that those chords work, but that may be what I would do, right? So, but knowing that Mike is just he's going within that context, I just got to figure out now, because it's already figured out for me with these notes, because there's only certain chords that are going to work with that B flat, right? So see that? See? That'd be much harder to figure out without those notes in the bottom. And so a proper understanding of theory, but the right kind of theory is a theory that's going to help you actually play. It's actually going to help you figure things out, help you to figure out these kind of crazy chords, and not get so intellectual with it that you're no better at the end of it. The point of theory is to make us better musicians. So hopefully you enjoyed this lesson. I'm going to see if there's any other thing I need to put in here. And then again, anyone else who is interested in joining the membership site, hit the link below where we can kind of discuss this more in depth, and you can get some support, some community support, and unlimited MIDI files. That's another thing I don't advertise. I don't want people joining just for the MIDI files. I really want you to kind of come in and take your musical growth seriously. All right, so until then, we'll see you later.